So today I want to talk about my travel sketchbook. This is the oldest piece of art that I have, and basically I went for 2 weeks to China and Japan in 2016, 2017, and I kept this sketchbook on that trip. So I carried it with me every day. I kind of made this and I kind of didn't. I had a small sketchbook, which was all of these papers folded in half and then bound through these holes. And I really liked this paper and I wanted to use this paper, but I wanted something that was hardcover. And I had this was another sketchbook bound with these rings, and I didn't like the paper that was in there. So before I left, this was my basic idea. I sort of spent some time thinking about what kind of style I could do very quickly while I was traveling, because essentially a lot of these sketches in here, I did them standing up on location as we were walking around, and I was with my whole family, so we essentially just, we did whatever everybody was going to do, and we went on the tours and stuff, and I just drew in the moments that I could. So I kind of came up with this, which was just like a 3-level approach: the line work, and then some simple shading, and then I figured I could put color on top of that. That was the third step. So this was my plan. It didn't all end up that way, but I drew these the night before. This is my sister. She came with me, and my roommate at the time, Chris. We were hanging out watching Aladdin on TV the night before, and here I have all my sketch stuff that I was going to take laid out on my desk. And then these are our bags. This was my first time going out of the country. A couple of sketches of our flight. These are the views from the view from the plane, and the view from just the little food that we got. It was like a 13-hour flight or something, so they gave us a meal, and we went over at one point some really gorgeous mountains that I tried to capture. This is again from in the plane, and then this one is the very first hotel that we stayed in. So I was studying some Chinese on the plane, and this actually ended up being really fun because I had a couple of words. Thank you. I wasn't sure what would be the most useful, but thank you was definitely the most useful thing I had learned by the time I got there. Everybody was so polite, and we ended up using that all the time. But I just wrote in my sketchbook some little things. This one here is on the bathroom. All the bathrooms in China, they have like cute little doll looking things, and ours aren't. Ours are more straight and in the US. So the first city we went to was Beijing. I wanted to sort of make some titles and, I don't know, just experimenting. This was the first place we went. It was like a whole complex that you just get to walk around, and here are some of the main things. These are I know they're not called gargoyles, but the decorations that are on all the edges of the buildings, which I thought were really cool. So that's just a close-up of that. Something that we saw in here. You walk through there, and there's this museum thing, and just some really gorgeous buildings, and I'm trying to do some titles and stuff. One of the paths, and just some views from the place that we went that first day. And then we went, after we left that place, we went to Tianmen Square, and we saw, this is the main building there, and they have a lot of like amazing statues. This is my sister wearing her cute little hat. It was pretty cold a lot of the time we were out there, so hats, scarves, and jackets we had. I loved the details on these. These are some of my favorite sketches in the whole book. And what I had ended up doing by this point is I would sort of just take my 2 pens, essentially, and I would sketch it out in ballpoint and then do the line work in a darker pen. We had this was our tour guide that day. Another statue, another view of the buildings and the paths going around. We went to a little market and I bought these paintbrushes. We all got a little souvenir there. My brother got this one, I got these, and my sister got a little teapot. So I drew our souvenirs. And the next day we went to the Great Wall. They have these carts that you can ride up to the top, and this gorgeous view is what we saw at the top with the mountains in the distance. This was one of my favorite places to see the whole time, was the view from the top. And then these are some sketches of the wall. We hiked all up it. You know, you just walk along and see all these little buildings, or, you know. My sister majored in natural resources, and she knows everything about plants, so she was telling us what all of the leaves are, and I told her to pick her favorite one, and I drew the oak leaf. She knows the scientific name and everything, so she's telling us all this scientific stuff about the plants and everything as we're going, and that was just a good memory of this day. This is from inside one of those fortress buildings, looking out the window. The next day we went to the Summer Palace. Again, gorgeous statues, gorgeous views. We were there sort of around when... So this was actually later that night, because I remember there was a sunset and some gorgeous buildings. I started this map. See, it's only in ballpoint. I was going to go back and do it later, and then I never did. There wasn't that much time at night to sketch stuff, so I kind of left some stuff. And then the next day, this is actually pronounced Xi'an. We had a weird mishap with the cab, so I was writing about that. And then we went to see the Terracotta Warriors. I love how these turned out. I think they were really, really nice to draw those shapes. And then there was a museum that we went to, and that's where I drew all these. Some I did more detailed and just in ballpoint, because we were literally just walking past these statues, and I would kind of like run ahead of my family and start drawing something I thought was really cool, and then they would catch up to me, and I would only have that long to draw. So one of our hotels, the next city that we stayed in, this was our hotel. This is actually a school, and every morning, you know, when we woke up in the morning, you could hear all the kids going to school. It was really cute. I really like how I did that with the lamp. I'm surprised I had the idea to do that, but it's cute. This one, we had a tour guide this day as well, and this was one of them. This building was super awesome to see, and this forest was actually amazing. It was all foggy when we went there, and some of the views were just spectacular. They, again, had huge statues. We took a cable car all the way to the top again, and it was amazing. You were up walking around, so this path, this was the view out from the path, and then the path kind of went along this way, and you were just walking along the top. That's a bridge, part of the path that would take you the rest of the way around, so it was amazing. And then all of this down here was foggy. This was a fun and interesting thing, so I kind of tried to capture it here. This one probably would have looked better with color, but like I said, I didn't always have time to go back and finish these drawings. It's this huge bridge, way up high. This one is kind of just describing the structure of it, but all of the panels are cut out of where you walk on, so you're just walking kind of above you can see the valley below and you're way up high. It was really cool. I did manage to get the sunset in that day, so that was good. It was super packed towards the entrance. This was like a ton of people in a crowd, and this was the view of the bridge from the starting point, and the cable car station. So this is separate. After we did this, we went up to see this gateway of heaven. This is the view, and the cable car station. Again, you're just taking a cable car all the way up to the top of this mountain. Some more views of the mountain. And then when you get to the top, it's just kind of, people tie these red ribbons to the trees, and they're supposed to represent wishes. But we went there, it was cold, and all of these trees, I mean, the drawing doesn't capture it, but I remember all of these trees all the little branches and stuff were completely iced. They were completely full of ice, and it just made the view completely spectacular. More fog, more ice. And then they had all these temples, so these are some of the statues outside of the temples. And I drew some little incense. There was a lot of incense that you could light. And some more stuff that I saw. I ran out of pens. I didn't anticipate that, but by this point in the sketchbook, my drawing pen had run out, so I had to go find some, and these actually turned out to be my absolute favorite pens. I'm showing you guys, this is 2022 now that I'm making this video, and I did this in 2016. I used this pen exclusively for like 3 or 4 years afterwards. They turned out to be the absolute best. So that was a great discovery, and they're really cheap. You can still get them on Amazon. I love them. A view from the airport. So we went from this area of China and we flew into Hong Kong. And then this was our hotel in Hong Kong. We basically just stayed in like a resort hotel, and so there was just a lot of, modern day decorations. All of the buildings in Hong Kong are just this kind of like humongous skyscraper. So I drew those. That was very quintessential of the city. And me and my siblings, we just kind of played pool and had some drinks that night. It was pretty chill. We didn't do that much that day because of the flight. This one, we just went to Disneyland. These aren't my absolute favorite drawings. It was really hard. I mean, we were moving through the park really fast, so I didn't have that much. They were really fast drawings, and I didn't get to add a lot of detail, but I just picked up the smallest snips that I could from everything while we were in line and stuff, and that's the stuff that I ended up being able to draw. They did have a lot of gorgeous plants there that I was able to capture, and some of the light fixtures. I mean, Disneyland is all done up, so there's a lot of interesting stuff there. And then this is another plane ride. I'm drawing my hand. I'm just bored. This is a girl taking a nap in the seat across from me. I think we just stayed in Hong Kong just to go to Disneyland, and then we went to Tokyo the next day, so that was a lot of flying. Somebody's shoe that I thought was interesting. And then we start 2017 in Japan, and so I drew this inspired by, the Chinese New Year. It was the year of the rooster that year, and the first day of 2017, so that was awesome. Some more airport sketches, another Japan sketch, and then we're in Kyoto. So I ran out of this paper, and this was, I think, yes, this was the original paper that was in this sketchbook, which I liked enough. I like this is better for watercolor, but I did continue my sketches in this paper. This is from a train ride. I was just drawing some of the people in the train ride. This is my brother. This is the place that we stayed, our Airbnb in Kyoto. And then another view going down the stairs. So this is the bedroom that you can see on this page, and then the door over to this way is this view with little kitchenette and everything. Just some patterns. And then we're in Tokyo. Everything was quite busy after this, so we were just, me and my sister went to walk around the city and explore some of the plants, some of the people, some of the stuff. We went to Starbucks over there, which is the same, but it was delicious. I thought it was maybe better than Starbucks here, but it could have just been like the experience and the comfort of it. I tried to do a whole view of the city, but it turned out to be too much for the time that I had. This was one of my favorite drawings. We just stayed in the hotel kind of for the afternoon, relaxing before we had to go back the next day, and I drew this pretty detailed photo of us. Here's our feet here. We're just watching some shows, and over here they have these kettles, and we had some ramen, and it was a really good night. Just some art goals that I was thinking about on the train ride. A garden outing that we had, and another view of the city. Some temple drawings. We went to a sushi restaurant. We figured Japan is the best place to get sushi, so we got sushi in Japan. And then this is our flight back, and that is my last drawing of this sketchbook. Pretty detailed because I'm on the plane again. That's the breakfast we had at the airport, so there we go. And there are some unused pages here that, you know, I didn't need for the trip, and some notes in the back, like just random stuff. Random drawing that wasn't related to the trip, just stuff I wanted to sketch. Our tour guide was telling us how to say our names in Chinese, so that was cool. And that's it. That's the whole sketchbook. I loved this sketchbook and this whole experience, and I was really happy that I did it. So there it is. Thanks for watching. Bye.